A very good evening. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. Such a delight joining you tonight with the latest happenings throughout the country. Obviously, we would love to comb the length and breadth of the country, bring you up to speed on all the happenings tonight. Our reporters are positioned to bring you up to the minute report on all the stories that you're looking forward to tonight. Well, we'll talk politics, we'll bring you social issues, we'll touch on business, we'll fill you in with entertainment. So stay put with us the next 1 hour as we share all these and many stories with you. But before we do so, let's look at some of the top stories that we have for you tonight. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, I'm talking about the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, says the Ghanaian youth are yearning for experienced hands to rescue the nation from challenges that the country is faced with as the party launched its campaign for the 2024 general elections in the northern regional capital of Temeng with the theme Change to Reset Ghana.
The youth of this country don't have 4 years to waste. The youth of this country are in a hurry to create the opportunities that will make them live a dignified life. They're not going to try somebody and after 4 years decide whether you should continue.
Also coming up tonight, Chief of Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Thomas Opon-Pepra, has denied releasing the dismissal letter of Richard Jakpa, well, the third accused person in the ongoing ambulance trial to the Ministry of Defense. Later in the bulletin, former Deputy Finance Minister and Obuasi West MP rubbishes assertions his latest letter to the party was born out of bitterness, insisting failure to follow his suggestion would hamper any ambition of the party to break the eight.
That anybody that doesn't follow that tradition must be bitter, or he's hurt, or he wants why will I want MPP to lose that?
Also coming up tonight, minority in Parliament has petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, I'm talking about GHOne, to investigate what they term as the secret recruitment of applicants believed to be affiliated with the governing New Patriotic Party into the various security agencies in the country. Tonight, we will tell you more. And I'll bring you updates from our world of business as Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Immigration Service of Ghana have commenced a joint investigation into unravel the circumstances surrounding a clash between officers of the two security agencies stationed at the Kulungugu border of the Upper East region. Tonight we have these and many other interesting stories making the 1 hour bulletin. Stay with us as we bring you all these and many more in a jiffy. My name is Kweku. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. Let's take our very first story for the evening. And here, the minority in Parliament has petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, I'm talking about GHOne, to commence investigations into an ongoing recruitment applicants believed to be affiliated with the governing New Patriotic Party, that's the NPP, into various security agencies of the country. Well, according to the minority, in a statement, checks at the police training school at Tesano revealed some people are going through medicals for recruitment without any public announcement of the exercise. Well, it further stated that the move is in contravention of the 1992 Constitution, Act 456 of Shraj, and the Interior Ministry, that's Henry Kweku, has vigorously denied the secret recruitment claim by the minority, explaining only a backlog is being cleared. But addressing the media after the petition to Shraj, ranking member for the Defense and Interior Committee, James Agaga, reiterated the backlog explanation of the Interior Minister is untenable.
We have realized that the ministry is still bent on proceeding with their secret recruitment. So, faced with these scenarios, the Minority Caucus decided to petition the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, which has the mandate to ensure in law and under the Constitution that the recruitment into the public services is done in a structured manner, in a balanced manner, taking into account regional balance. And most importantly, to allow for access, equal access to all in terms of recruitment into the security services. In fact, the Constitution actually talks about the public services. And you know, the police service, all the agencies under the Ministry of the Interior form part of the public services. But specific mention is made of the police, the prisons, and, the fire service. So the point is that Shraj has the mandate to ensure that there is equal access to all when it comes to recruitment into the security services. And the point is, how can you guarantee equal access to all if the recruitments are not advertised with the eligibility criteria clearly spelled out? That is why we have found it necessary to proceed to Shraj, invoke the jurisdiction of Shraj to ensure that justice is done to the youth of this country who are about to be shortchanged.
Well, we'll stay on other stories at this moment. I hear the Teacher Trainee Association of Ghana has expressed concern over how the ongoing strike by the Colleges of Education Teachers Association Ghana, I'm talking about CTAG, has disrupted the academic calendar. Well, the strike, which began on June 14, 2024, has resulted in a complete halt of academic and administrative activities, leaving the future of the academic calendar uncertain due to the government's delay in implementing an arbitral award and negotiation service condition. Well, speaking during a press conference, National President of the Teacher Trainee Association of Ghana, the STAG, Abdul Razak Swale, appealed to the government and CTAG to reach a compromise.
The strike has left teacher trainees in a state of uncertainty, with their academic progress halted and their future prospects hanging in the balance. The government has failed to provide clear communication regarding the resumption of academic activities and a clear path forward. We do not know whether we will be required to sit for examinations for the semester marked by no class attendance, or if they would need to prepare for exams amidst the strike. Also, level 400 students do not know as to whether on 7 September they will be completing from the colleges of education. The strike has imposed immense pressure and financial strain on all teacher trainees, especially the level 400 teacher trainees. We call on the government to prioritize negotiation with CTAG and find a swift and equitable solution to the issues that have led to this strike. We demand a significant investment in infrastructure improvement in colleges of education, including the construction of adequate laboratories, libraries, and accommodations. We call for a substantial increment in teacher trainees' allowances and for the feeding component to be reviewed to ensure sufficient quantity and quality of food. We demand that the government allocate sufficient resources to provide dedicated buses for all colleges of education to facilitate student transportation for field trips and then other student activities. We firmly believe that investing in teacher training is an investment in the future of education in Ghana.
Forward we shall sacrifice, forward we shall serve for the progress of Ghana.
All right, so all is set now for me to bring you Insight, and Insight is proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. Well, on Insight tonight, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, I'm talking about NDC, John Dramani Mahama, says the Ghanaian youth are yearning for experienced hands to rescue the nation. While speaking during the official launch of the party's campaign launch in Temeng in the northern region, the former president stated that the youth of the nation want the hands they have seen before to deliver them from the current hardship. Well, there's more in the following report.
The Jubilee Park in Tamale, the northern regional capital, was full to capacity as thousands of supporters and sympathizers of the opposition National Democratic Congress attended the official launch of the party's campaign ahead of the 2024 general elections. Dubbed Change to Reset Ghana, flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, stated in his address that the Ghanaian youth are looking for experienced leaders to solve the problems created by the Akufo-Addo and Bawumia government.
The youth of this country don't have 4 years to waste. The youth of this country are in a hurry to create the opportunities that will make them live a dignified life. They're not going to try somebody and after 4 years decide whether you should continue. The youth of this country want an experienced hand, they want a safe way of hand, they want a hand that they have seen do it before to come back and take this country and rescue us from the mess in which we have been dumped by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government.
The former president promised to lead a modest government and reiterated his resolve to tackle corruption and other related offences.
There's a fight against corruption and accountability. If you don't want to be accountable, go and do your own business. Whatever you do in your business, nobody is coming to hold you to account because it is your own investment. And if you decide that you want to come into public service, then be prepared to be held accountable. And so I've said it and I'll say it again. For those people who have been involved in scandals and various acts of misappropriation in this government, this MPP government, we shall investigate you and we will let the law take its course. If you serve in the John Mahama government, the next John Mahama government, if you are accused of wrongdoing, you will also be punished and held accountable.
John Mahama also urged party members to remain vigilant during the polls, emphasizing that the NDC will ensure every ballot is counted and protected.
And if you say you are NDC, then you better get prepared. Everybody is going to volunteer. We're not going to sleep for 48 hours until all the ballots have been counted. None of us is going to sleep for 48 hours until all the ballots have been counted. And I wish to assure all the people of Ghana who intend to vote for the NDC, I can promise you that we will protect every single vote. We have had our issues with the Electoral Commission, but we are prepared to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Well, we're still on the NDC campaign launch. Flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, is expressing dismay over the NPP's comparison of their 8-year governance to that of Ghana's first president, Osagyefo for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, describing the NPP government as useless. John Dramani Mahama assured Ghanaians that his party, the NDC, when voted into power on December 7, 2024, will investigate all members of the NPP who have been accused of wrongdoings.
They have the audacity to compare themselves to our first president, Osagyefo for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. How can you compare this useless government that has led Ghana into such crisis to the government of Kwame Nkrumah? The statistics again tell us that things are not well with this country. All the statistics. For a government that said it was going to come with an economic wizard, an economic guru, and that is the reason why he was being brought to stabilize the economy and stabilize the currency. To take the city from 4 cities to 16 cities and tell us that, clap for us, we've done well. If such a government is not living in an illusion, what else is an illusion? For a government that has taken inflation as far as 54% and it is currently still above 20%, to tell us that we should clap for them because they've done well. If they are not living in an illusion, then I don't know what an illusion is. If you decide that you want to come into public service, then be prepared to be held accountable. And so I've said it and I'll say it again. For those people who have been involved in scandals and various acts of misappropriation in this government, this NPP government, we shall investigate you and we will let the law take its course.
All right, so still on the NDC campaign launch, and here national chairman for the NDC, I'm talking about Johnson Asiedu-Nketia, will obviously called General Mosquito, is encouraging chiefs to continue to be non-partisan as their continuous meddling in politics does not augur well for the country. Well, he also cautioned Ghanaians to take a critical look at the qualities of the leader they will be voting for come December 7.
We did not insulate your institution from multi-party politics, partisan politics, for no reason. We know why we did that. We knew from our past history, if you allow politicians to meddle up with our holy institutions like the traditional councils and paramountcies, you end up with a situation where the institution will be destroyed. Please, you have a role to play beyond appealing to us for peace. Stand firm and neutral in this context, so that if there is a problem and you invite us to adjudicate, we all trust you and come before you and listen to your advice. If chiefs meddle in politics, then there will be a time politicians will meddle in chieftaincy, and we don't want that. That is why we framed the constitution to prevent chiefs from engaging in multi-party or partisan politics. Stay holy, stay clean. We know you are under pressure for Nana Akufo-Addo, who want to compromise every institution in this country. You are our last hope. Stay clean, so that you can protect our democracy. December this year, we are not going to look for a bishop. We are not going to look for an imam. We have those people already. What we are going to look for is a leader who is truthful, who is trustworthy, who has vision, who can lead this country out of the quagmire we are facing. And that leader is President John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you.
Well, political analyst joins me for a conversation on this. We're getting all the details shortly. Well, thank you very much for your time this evening. Let me find out from you. So we've been watching the NDC campaign launch in Tamale. What is your general assessment of the NDC's launch?
Well, Mr. Temeng, let me say good evening to your viewers. I think it was magnificently done, well organized, quite colorful, and well patronized, to say the least.
Well, let's talk about the message also. Was the message compelling enough? The message that was given out there, was it compelling enough?
Well, I think that with respect to the flag bearer, Mr. Mahama, he has been quite consistent. And that consistency, emanates from the period that he even met the press about 3 weeks ago. In that particular interaction, you will get to the understanding that most of the responses are those that he turned into some kind of a speech yesterday or so. And so that consistency is there, and it is quite compelling. To the extent that you are sending shivers down the spine of your opponent, to the effect that you are going to prosecute all those scandals that have been leveled against them. And not only that, you are equally going to tackle your own household when they equally go wrong. And I think that is quite, instructive. Quite apart from that, he has established some kind of four pillars upon which his message is impinged. And what are these? He's talking about a government of modesty. It is very important. In a country that is bedeviled with all these kinds of problems, and having been reduced to a junk status, we are not able to service our debt. We are in debt crisis. We've given people haircut and all those things. The only thing he can assure and do is to be modest. And he has outlined some of those, areas of modesty. He talks about honesty. That honesty is something that he told the unions, that he's not going to. They should give him a little of that kind of honeymoon, because he doesn't want to promise something he will not be able to deliver. That is honesty. Sorry, and he's also promised them that he's going to open the books for all of them to have a look, so that they will plug all the loopholes all by themselves, create and share accordingly. And that sharing is for all. That is honesty. Hard work. And that hard work is impinged on this 24-hour economy. There can never be a 24-hour economy that will create employment, a cycle of export, bringing in enough forex, and to be able to cure the problem of the city without working hard. Because he is of the view that probably and most likely the MPP government has not even given, or they've not seen the full length of the frog that is dead yet. That is not yet dead. So it is only when the frog dies before you see its actual length. And so it is possible that in as much as we find ourselves in debt crisis, it could even be worse than what the MPP is presenting. Then the final item, he mentions as accountability. And that accountability is the first thing that I spoke about. And he even has gone as far as, with these procurement processes, ensuring that if you get to a certain threshold, then there is a need for you to, see to a particular committee or something of that sort. That will ensure transparency and probe a little more further. I think accountability is something that has killed or is killing our democracy, because people are so they are imprudent and they are arrogant, throwing their weight about because they think that there is nothing like proper accountability.
All right, so if you're just joining us, I'm interacting with Dr. Jonathan Asante Ochre. He's a political analyst, and we're discussing the NDC's launch in Tamale over the weekend. So, Dr. Asante Ochre, just share with me, Mahama has promised to investigate MPP members accused of wrongdoing if the NDC comes into power. I mean, is this something that you think he should be pursuing on campaign platforms? And really, how feasible is this for a new administration to conduct thorough investigations into a predecessor or somebody who was just voted out?
Well, you need to send that message so that those who are bent on doing some of these nefarious activities that will affect the health of the economy to put a stop to that. Now, in the hemorrhaging that as a country are suffering from, you can even see that in Auditor General's report. And so you need to send that kind of message. Of course, psychologically, others would think that when you send messages like that, it means that the party in government will be intransigent to hand over power. I don't think there is anything against something of that sort. Once you have lost the elections, remember the allegiance of the military, the police, or paramilitary will shift to whoever the mandate has been given. That is what democracy is all about. As to its feasibility, well, only time will tell, because he has been in government. He knows that the terrain is quite treacherous. He has had cause to complain about how the judiciary is being packed. How the judiciary is being packed with so-called judges that seem to have soft spot for them.
My apologies on that. We have been interacting with Dr. Asante Ochre in there. He is sharing his thoughts on the campaign message of the NDC. He'll be coming back shortly with some 30 seconds to round the conversation up for us before we round Insights up. As and when he joins us, we are able to. So, Doc, yes, you are making a point. Just shortly round it up for me there.
Yeah, so he knows that the terrain is not that easy. You have accused the MPP of packing the court, and that means that we are definitely going to struggle in terms of prosecution. So you need to mark the time and ensure that things are done properly. Other than that, that promise could also be a short-lived one. But having been in power before and knowing how things of that nature are done, I think that we only have to give him the benefit of the doubt. And let's see how the court will equally, come on board, because once the Gen Zs rise, I don't see how the court will want to pander to the whims and caprice of the previous government. They will have to come on board and ensure that Ghana is saved.
Okay, Dr. Asante Ochre, thank you very much for your thoughts in there. Well, that will close it for Insights tonight, but we're not done with the bulletin. We're coming back with some more political stories. We'll touch on education. We'll share more social stories with you, and we'll stay on business. Be my guest, stay with us. We'll be back shortly. But a gentle reminder that Insights was proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. All right, so let's do some more political stories. And here, flag bearer of the governing NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has promised to put in place mechanisms to improve agriculture if voted into office as president during the December 7th elections. Well, the vice president, who is currently on a constituency-focused tour of the Upper East region, promised to set up mechanization centers in every district. Well, my colleague Musa Lansa has more in the following report.
So far, the Vice President has visited 12 out of the 15 constituencies of the Upper West region, engaging with chiefs and voters. During his visit, Dr. Bawumia has pledged to prioritize agriculture by establishing mechanization centers in the districts and promoting the use of lime instead of chemical fertilizer to improve soil quality for better crop yields.
I believe that for our country to progress, then agriculture must be the focus of our development, to make sure that we have these district agri mechanization centers across the farming districts where our farmers can have access to agricultural equipment at affordable rates to go and farm and expand their production. I want to bring in the best practices from countries like Brazil and China that have higher productivity in crops such as maize and rice. And we want to also learn from them to adopt some of those technologies that are giving them 2 times or 3 times the yields per acre that we are doing.
Well, let's still stay on Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as a senior campaign aide to the governing flag bearer of the MPP. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says the only reason the opposition NDC calls his boss a liar is because they have no message. Well, Salifu Said, who spoke to GHOne TV in Bongo, says the NDC's campaign that the governing MPP is anti-Akan has been defeated with the election of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as flag bearer of the party.
The issue now is NDC have a challenge of coming out with a message. NDC for the years, especially within the 4th Republican Democratic Dispensation, they used to say that in the North, MPP, they are a Akan party, MPP, they don't like the North, the MPP will never choose a Northerner and all that. Now that Bawumia is the leader, NDC is handicapped. They are handicapped with information. They can't say MPP people doesn't like Akans, Northerners, they can't choose a Northerner and whatever, and that is why they are having a problem. So the only thing is to say that it's a liar, but it is never true. Bawumia is one of the people who will come out with a speech, with a policy, will come out and deliver a lecture, and not only the credible institutions within Ghana, the international rating communities and agencies across the globe. Before you hear World Bank will say this, what Bawumia said is true. The IMF and all other international bodies will come. He's one of the politicians in Ghana who will always come out to deliver a lecture, and other international rating agencies will confirm what the policies that he has mentioned. So for us, we are not shaking. They are not shaking. What they are saying, the people, the voters, the electors know that is not the reality.
Well, let's stay on some more politics as former Deputy Finance Minister and Obuasi West MP Kweku has rubbished assertions his latest letter to the party was born out of bitterness, insisting failure to follow his suggestions would hamper any ambition of the party to break the 8. Well, Mr. Kweku, who is the immediate past chairman of the Finance Committee of Parliament, in an open letter asserts since independence the country has constantly engaged in overspending and borrowing to finance the overspending, likening the country's running to a Ponzi scheme. While speaking exclusively to GHOne TV in a yet-to-be-aired interview, Kweku impressed upon the MPP to, among other things, acknowledge the past and present failures of the political class and lead by example by demonstrating sacrifices, including overhauling what he terms as corrupt public procurement regime.
I rather want us to break the 8, and I am telling the party the messages we must present in order to make breaking the 8 more certain. I know that because of the misreporting partly, but also because as part of the political culture, we are so used to politicians always saying, my party has done so well and the other party is so bad, that anybody that doesn't follow that tradition must be bitter, or he's hurt, or he wants why will I want MPP to lose it? I've never believed for once that the NDC or any other political party will be a better alternative than the MPP under any circumstance. And so why will I want the MPP? I want the MPP to win, and it is people who are looking, especially within party, who are looking at these sound suggestions. Which suggestions are coming from what people feel?
Well, definitely when it comes to politics, GHOne TV should be that outlet that would feed you with all the information you're looking for. Obviously, we are your election hub. Thank you very much for keeping faith with us. If you're just joining us, this is News Tonight on GHOne TV. My name is Kweku Temeng. Some more local stories for you, and here the Chief of Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Thomas Opon Pepra, has said he was not responsible for the release of the dismissal letter of Richard Jakpa, the third accused, to the Minister of Defense, Dominic Nitiwo. Well, according to the CDS, there was no request letter to him to furnish the confidential letter on Jakpa's release to the minister. Well, the CDS, who was testifying as the second witness for Richard Jakpa, the third accused in the ongoing ambulance case, also told the court that private individuals can request for the confidentiality letter on an officer if the same is approved by the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Well, on Monday, July 29, the CDS, while providing clarification regarding the dismissal of Richard Jakpa, also said was released from the military due to a continuous lack of knowledge or interest in his duties. Meanwhile, the CDS, during his cross-examination by the Attorney General Godfred Yabo Adame, said Mr. Jakpa was not honorably released from the Ghana Armed Forces. Richard Jakpa, a businessman, is standing trial together with Minority Leader Dr. Kezel Atto-Forson for what prosecution alleges to be willfully causing financial loss to the Republic to the tune of some 2.37 million euros following the purchase of some ambulances. Well, the accused persons have pleaded not guilty and are standing trial before Justice Ifiasewa Asare-Botri, a justice of the Court of Appeal, sitting in as an additional High Court judge. Well, both prosecution and Dr. Forson, the first accused person, have all closed their cases with Mr. Jakpa calling his witnesses. Hearing continues on Tuesday, July 30, 2024. All right, so the Krowa Municipal Education Directorate in the Krowa Municipal Assembly has indeed charged parents and schools to adapt critical thinking, innovation, and digitalization in shaping the lives of their children. While the Directorate describes these elements as powerful on their own, converging to create a transformative force that is refining industries, education, and society at large. What is more in the following report?
The Primus Hybrid School in the Krowa Municipal Assembly held its graduation and speech and prize giving day with a call on parents and teachers to train their children to be critical thinkers, change makers, and more resilient. Speaking on the theme, the impact of critical thinking, innovation and digitalization on the 21st century, the Public Relations Officer of the Krowa Municipal Education Directorate, Ni Laye Okai, emphasized the need for parents to embrace a more dynamic approach driven by technology and adaptability to make graduates more competitive.
All parents and guardians to make technological guidance available to their wards to facilitate easy learning. As we embrace these components of critical thinking, innovation, and digitalization, We must prioritize teacher training, infrastructure development, and equitable access. By doing so, we can ensure that every student, regardless of background or location, can harness the full potential of 21st century education.
The principal of Primus Hybrid School, Kweku, explained that the impact of critical thinking, innovation and digitalization on the 21st century not only shapes the present, but also paves the way for a future marked by creativity, connectivity and progress.
We have moved away from rote learning, where children just learn everything by heart. Now it's time for children to actually understand what they learn and apply it to everyday life. So we've moved past the time where you would just learn for learning's sake. Now you have to understand what you learn and apply it. And it's very hands-on, practical, it's student-centered. It's the children. The teacher is just a facilitator. You are there to direct. And that is where 21st century education is moving towards.
The ceremony, which featured colorful performances from learners, also saw pupils graduate from kindergarten to primary to high school and 18 JHS leavers. The event included special recognition for outstanding students and rising stars in their respective classes.
All right, so this is news tonight. Just a piece of advice for you tonight. Are you looking for a loan and you're struggling? Well, just get your national ID card and look for Bills Microcredit. Well, tonight, I'm happy to let you know that Bills has made it possible for me to bring you business. All right, so the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ghana Immigration Service have commenced a point investigation to unravel the circumstances surrounding the clash between officers of the two security agencies stationed at the Kulungugu border in the Upper East region. Well, it will be recalled that on the 25th of July 2024, a video went viral showing officers of the two security agencies in uniform engaging in physical altercation. Many attributed the incident to misunderstanding emanating from the payment of border fees by a Burkinabe national intending to cross the border from Ghana's territory into Burkina Faso. Well, we'll share with you a statement that has been released on what has been done so far. So it reads, incident at Kulungugu border post, and I read the details for you as you will be seeing on your screen shortly. Management of both the Ghana Immigration Service, that's the GIS, and the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, that's the GRACD, have noted a video circulating on social media which shows officers of both institutions engaged in a scuffle at the Kulungugu border post in the Upper East region. Well, the two institutions have taken the following action on the situation. The Controller General of the Immigration Service, that's Mr. Kwame Esua Techi, has held series of meetings with the Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, that's Brigadier General Zebrin Bawa, a year ago, to discuss the unfortunate incident. Right, so those are some updates on the incident. The GRA has released a statement. You would find it on our social media platforms as we will be sharing with you. Well, in other stories tonight, the banking sector in Ghana has witnessed a significant rise in non-performing loans, that's NPLs, amidst ongoing economic challenges. Well, according to the latest statement from the Bank of Ghana, the NPL ratio increased to 24.1% in June 2024, up from 18.7% in the same period last year. Well, despite the rise in NPLs, the capital adequacy ratio stood at some 14.3% in June 2024, marginally higher than the 14.2% reported in June 2023. Well, the sector profitability metrics remain relatively stable, with return on equity after tax pegged at some 35.3% in June 2024, down slightly from 37.6% on year earlier. Well, the return on assets before tax held steady at 5.4%. The total assets of the banking sector grew by some 33.3% year on year, reaching some 332.1 billion cedis in June 2024. Liquidity indicators also improved, with the core liquid assets to total assets ratio increasing to some 35.8% in June 2024 from 27.7% last year. All right, so that's about all we have for you in business tonight. Special appreciation to Bill's Microcredit for making it possible for us to bring you business. All right, so Benghazi is joining me at this moment. He has the latest from the Paris Olympics. Benghazi, a very good evening.
Good evening to you. Of course, I've got the latest trending stories from the Olympic Games. Now, Ghana's Harry Stacey will be in action tomorrow. I've got details of that. Plus, look at the table, medal table at the ongoing games, all coming up in sports after this. So Ghana's swimming sensation Harry Stacey will compete at the ongoing Paris Olympic Games tomorrow in a 100-meter. Now, aquatic awarded the sports to Ghana for 2 emerging talents following their impressive performances in the 2023 African Games that was held here in Ghana. Now, Harry currently ranked the highest male swimmer in Ghana. According to the aquatic point table, will compete in the 100-meter freestyle event at 9:15 tomorrow. Making their Olympic debuts, Harry and Josel Mensah are aiming to make a big impact on the global stage at the ongoing Olympic Games being held in Paris this year. So let's look at the GPL or Ghana Premier League. The GFA have released the fixtures for this season's Ghana League, which is of course kicking off somewhere in the month of August. The fixtures have been released. Now the Phobia and Kodokwe and Hearts of Folk will cross swords on the March 13 in the Ghana Premier League. An interesting fixture we're always looking forward to. We are told the two teams will meet on March 13 for the released fixtures in the Ghana Premier League for next season. Meanwhile, defending league champion Samatex will also be in action in their first quick encounter against Dreams FC away from home, while the likes of Mediema will take on Accra Lions on the March 1 of the Ghana Premier League. Big games to look forward to. It starts somewhere in the month of August. That's next month. The GPL will be getting underway. The fixtures released, as you can see on your screens now. Big games to look forward to. But of course, like I said, the biggest fixture, home and away, March 13. And the following fixture will be in Accra, March 30. That's for the Ghana Premier League. So that's the fixtures released for the Ghana Premier League for next season. Now let's go on to Paris once again. Now let's take out the latest medal table as we have it at March or day 3 at the Olympic Games. And if you can see on your screens now, Japan, together with their folks from Southeast Asia, dominating the medal table as we have it at March or day 3 at the Olympic Games. So it is Japan who are on top. China second in that order, with Korea following. Top 10 is what it is you have on your screens now. The usual favorites: USA, Great Britain, Germany, and the likes, all occupying top spots, top 10 on the medal table after some 3 days of events being competed for at the ongoing games in Paris, France. Someone is asking, where is Ghana on that log? And I'm not sure if Kweku has answers for us. Where is Ghana on the top 10 medal table as we have it, in Paris? So that's it for sports. Kweku, back to you.
Thank you very much, Benghazi. Well, we'll check Buku Marina. We might find some medals coming in there. But I'm coming back shortly with some more updates from our world of entertainment. Do stay. All right, so we're taking some international news rather in here. South Africa's ruling African National has decided to expel former President Jacob Zuma for leading a rival group in the May elections. Well, the decision follows disciplinary proceedings against Zuma initiated earlier this month. Well, the document dated July 29 states that the charged members is expelled from the ANC. It also mentions that Zuma has the right to appeal to the National Disciplinary Committee within 21 days. The ANC's National Disciplinary Committee has found that Zuma prejudiced the integrity of the party by acting in collaboration with another party in a manner contrary to the aims, policies, and objectives of the ANC. Well, MK Party has slammed the ruling, saying Zuma will engage his legal team to determine the cause of the action. Zuma, who remains popular despite past scandals, was suspended by the ANC in January after endorsing the newly formed GHOne party. All right, so that's about all we have for you tonight. We can appreciate you for staying with us throughout the bulletin led by Hanan. Well, tonight, before I go, we want to gently remind you that you need to brush with Pepsodent, because obviously with Pepsodent, every smile matters. On behalf of the entire production team, we salute you and say we have more programs on this channel, so do stay with us and enjoy the rest of your evening. My name is Kweku.